Hello there and welcome to a unusual type of video. Members won't think this is unusual, but the majority of the people that are watching this from the public, they will find this video a bit unusual, but this is the way the members videos are predominantly. There's no fancy screens, nothing. It's just me replying to comments from a video format point of view. And I wanted to address this more publicly rather than putting out as a members video, because I just think that it's something that's for a lot of people that they may take something from it. And I got a response from the Heathrow video I did yesterday regarding the conversation that I had with Gary. Well, not me personally, but me and Jason had with Gary on a Sunday surgery about the fact that he's doing an experiment. I don't know the correct terminology here, but into the mental health side of things and linking it in with FPL and whatnot. And he's kindly sent in a very, very long comment, so I'm just going to address it now. Like I said, with most, in fact all members videos, all I do is just address comments in video format, and I just think it's a good way of engaging with the community, actually talking to you via video format rather than just endlessly on a computer just replying to messages. It's not personal, is it? Whereas, like I say, I value the fact that I actually personally go out my way to, like I said, address comments from video format. But yeah, Gary is a psychologist in his 40s, and he any Office fans will understand that. That's out today, by the way, my Office podcast, Look Back, series 2, episode 4, out today on Total Stevo. And he is right now collating data with various members of the FPL community, including FPL Raptor, and they're trying to find what links FPL and mental health together and whatnot, and how the game affects people and so on and so forth. And I can already talk from a personal perspective from last night, knowing that if things went my way in the Spurs game, I could do very well in Sky. Turns out I did do very well last night in Sky. Ironically, I picked the wrong captain. I had 4 Spurs players, and I picked Porro. I could have gone with Romero, I could have gone with Son, I could have gone with Maddison, and I went with Porro. but whatever. Those 4 individual players have now taken me up to first in the Burnley Mini League, and I've just done a video, because I'm recording this at 9:20 in the morning, and I've just recorded a video for the Total Stevo side of things. So if you want to hear me waffle on about Sky, go onto the Total Stevo YouTube channel. But I was going through it last night, the anxiety of watching a football match, which in the grand scheme of things meant fuck all to me. And I'm just there like thinking to myself, why didn't I captain Romero? Why didn't I captain Romero? Why didn't I captain Romero? He's getting about, he must have had about 500 passes last night. Now, I don't even know how the point system works in Sky, but you get a point for X amount of passes completed, and Romero was just completing, like I said, about 400 or 500 passes in the space of 35 minutes. And I'm thinking to myself, like what Gary was talking about individuals who a game that's free affects them so badly that it's affecting their actual life. So, like I said, as a single bloke in his 30s in a house share on a double bed, watching a bloody football game that has no relevance to me whatsoever, lying there, biting every fucking nail and skin follicle on my fingers because I'm desperate for a clean sheet. And all that kept going through my mind was, it's because of the competitive nature of what you're participating in, and you're wanting to do well. But it's out of your hands. Now, the argument that Jason would quite rightly bring up, and quite a lot of people would bring up, is because it is out of your hands, that means that you can just relax. It's not down to you. But there's this messed up way of thinking where it's like, yeah, but I chose this player because of this, this and this, and I'm watching it and he's not doing that, that and that, and all these other factors. It's fucking insane. And from my personal perspective, watching that game last night, like I say, the only thing that suffered on me was my fingernails. Shall I do the spinneroonie? Let's add the fact that it was my fingernails. And of course, the thought process of after the game where I was like, well, actually at half time I was like, right, let's see how close I am to top spot, because with Sky it kind of updates almost live the leaderboards and everything, and I'm like, right, I've got a really good opportunity now, because despite the fact that Son scored, and I know that my rivals have captained him, and it's obvious when you look at the leaderboard within the Burnley mini league that certain individuals have captained Son, I'm thinking, well, if he just gets the goal, but I get that double clean sheet, and all these thought processes was going through my head, and like I said, it wasn't affecting anything other than my fingernails, as I can joke about, but it is because of that competitive nature of like, wow, I could become number one. I mean, I'm sure I did it. In fact, I know I did a video last year on a members video about like my stupidity when playing. No, it wasn't last year. It was the year before. 2 years ago, when Black Ops 4? I think it was Black Ops 4 came out, and I was bizarrely doing really well at this map pack that they released for free. And I was like ridiculously good on this specific map. I forget what it's called now. And I was constantly playing Domination and what's it called? It's not Team Deathmatch, it's the other one. It's the one with the keys. Team Confirmed or Kill Confirmed. And I was legitimately, within the whole game, think about that, of the millions upon millions of players that are playing Call of Duty, within the whole game, I was climbing the ranks because all I kept doing within this particular map pack was winning and winning and winning. Every match, I knew that I was going to win. I was going to win it for our team. I was always the top player. I was also using the grenade launcher also to rank that up as well. But anyway, the point being is that I was just winning every single match, which of course within the rankings pushes you up and up and up and up and up. And there was one stage where I know I was like in the 6-figure ranking. So let's just say, for argument's sake, I was 600,000th in the whole world of the game. How many people play Call of Duty? 20, 30, 40 million people. But every day that I was playing like 5 to 10 matches, because I was winning, my rank was going up and up and up, and I was getting really competitive with it. But every time I lost, which was very rare, I'd get very, very angry. And they decided, for some bizarre reason, right, we're changing this map pack now. This doesn't exist anymore. And I'm like, okay, well, it doesn't matter, because then I can just continue playing the game as normal. All of a sudden, I couldn't win for love nor money. I just couldn't win at all. And it was getting to the point where the word self-harming was very, very strong. But I remember getting my control pad when I couldn't kill anybody, and I was just literally smashing my leg with my controller, and it created a very, not going to lie, created a very large bruise on my leg. And at that point, I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? This is just absolutely ludicrous. It's just a computer game. And at that point, I just took a step back and was like, it's out of your hands. It doesn't matter what you do in that game, even though you're the one personally controlling the player and doing what you need to do. But there are others that are either A, better than you, or B, you've just got some lucky shot in and that's why you've died. And yeah, I openly admit that I have got some anger issues that need addressing from a professional psychologist or psychiatrist. Same difference. I want to be a psychologist, actually. They're all mad themselves, aren't they? But I can guarantee that there is somebody watching this that in fact, I know for fact there are people that watch this. I've even seen it in the comments that take FPL so seriously that I know it affects themselves. I'm not suggesting for 1 minute they self-harm or anything, but I know that it's causing them issues where it's like they're forgetting about real life and they're just focusing on this one competitive hobby that they've got where they want to be the best and try and win. Even if they're like 3 millionth in the world, they're trying to climb the ranks by doing certain transfers or whatever, which will help them do this, that and the other, and they're negating real life. And it's taken me a long time to get over getting really pissed off with certain things. Again, don't get me wrong, if I'm watching a match and my differential captain is stepping up to take a penalty and it misses, I'll be fucked off. Because again, we've got this competitive mini-league rivalry going. But I'm not really letting it affect my day per se. In fact, coincidentally on Twitter, FPL fella put up a poll, and he said, if you're doing poorly in FPL, but you're playing Sky or Gaffer, does playing Sky or Gaffer negate away from you doing poorly in FPL? And I just put, I think the results were, it makes it better, it makes it worse. I can't remember now. But I just put it makes it better because even though, yes, I'm doing very well in Sky and obviously in FPL I'm doing really, really badly, but it kind of, the fact that I am playing two different games does allow me to go, right then, well, I can't get these players in FPL, but I can bring them in Sky. So my thought process in FPL, I'm just going to use it in Sky. And vice versa. And it's something I've just spoken about actually on my Sky video regarding what I do. The one thing I do actually genuinely enjoy about Sky is that you can genuinely plan without worrying. The problem with FPL is that even though it's part of the game, but it's the price changing. The price changing legitimately does have an effect on people where it's had an effect on me. Where desperately bringing in players, which I didn't need to because I was worried about a price change that never even happens. And there are people out there where if they don't do a move tonight or tomorrow night or whenever, they can't buy that particular player. So they get rid of an individual who's got a really good fixture because the player that they want to also bring in is going to be going up in price. But the only way they can bring them in is by getting rid of this player that's got a good fixture. And then what happens? The player that went up in price gets 2 points. The player they got rid of gets 10 points. And it will piss people off for obvious reasons. And the thing with FPL as well is like it is very, very reactatory, the game itself, like I said, because of the price changing. With Sky, it's a much more calmer mindset because you're making moves because they make sense. Whereas in FPL, yeah, am I going to be getting rid of Haaland? There's a 70 to 80% chance that I'm probably going to do it. Bring in Haaland, get rid of Ward-Prowse, Sterling and Haaland, and bring in Saka, Matoma and Watkins. Yes, will I have the FOMO effect? Of course I will. But like I discussed yesterday, there are many, 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 many people that have got rid of Haaland and are actually doing very, very well because they're blocking out the noise. They're playing their own game and they're enjoying their own game without fearing this, like I said in the Sky one, this freak of nature who, yes, he can score 2 goals in the blink of an eye. He can score a hat-trick in the blink of the eye. But really, City of late have just been meh. Whereas the likes of Liverpool, Brighton, Aston Villa, to name 3, are doing Tottenham are doing very, 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 very well. Man City are just plodding along. And there are only 2 players that you can get from Man City. One of them's Højlund, the other one's Alvarez. Because the points they're behind them 2 are just spread across the board. And if Højlund's only bringing in the same amount of returns as, say, the likes of Watkins, then, yeah, you've got to go, yeah, but he plays for Man City. Yeah, there's that argument, but then you've got to go, but hold on a minute here, Aston Villa are actually this improving team that are looking like they're going to be challenging for Champions League places. They seem to be a very happy team. They're in form. They're doing really, really well under Emre. Emre's a muggy. He's clearly a very, very good coach. So, actually, maybe just go with that form player in Ollie Watkins. Which in turn means I can upgrade my midfield to have a much better midfield for the upcoming foreseeable future fixtures. But going on to Gary's points, comments, he said, "Hi Steve, this was put in the held for review, so I wonder what he's put in here, which is questionable from YouTube point of view. Hi Steve, it was good to talk last night. I don't think you are gone, LOL, and if you are, at least it provides us with a lot of entertainment. I love the videos and your rants. You're the main reason I watch Elite FPL. I don't think I expressed myself too well last night. To be fair, let's get real here. When you're meeting someone for the first time, whether it's on a date or whether it's actually just someone at work or whatever, the only thing you've really got in common, specifically at work, is work. And then the conversation can only go so far. But over a period of time, you build up a rapport with the individuals and understand what their personalities are. Same with dating, isn't it? Not necessarily these days with the online world, but anyway, you go on a first date and at first it's a bit awkward, it's a bit odd, you're trying to work each other out and everything. It doesn't matter how many times you've spoken to this person online or on a phone call, meeting them in person is always still very, very awkward. But then afterwards it's fine. I was like it with the wrestling podcast that I was guest on, or where the first time I was on these particular individuals' podcasts, I was very, very nervous and kind of like not really in my comfort zone. But then the second time I was with them, it was like, I can relax now and just chat normally. It's perfectly normal. And when you're coming on a show, which in Gary's case, he said he's been listening to us for 3 years, which is just incredible, really. To come on a show and it's via, Discord, where the connection can be poor and everything, and a slight tiny little lag issues and whatnot. And sometimes it is very difficult to express your point of view. But I don't think I expressed myself too well last night. The main thing I was trying to say is that while FPL obviously affects our mood, the positive effect it seems to have when we have a good game week seems to be bigger than the negative effect it has when we have a bad game week. Obviously, the effect this actually has on our mood depends on if you have more good or bad game weeks. But yeah, it affects a lot of people in a negative way, especially if you are really engaged and spend a lot of time thinking about the game / your transfers, etc. and you have a shit week. According to our data, people who say they play FPL for escapism rather than playing as they just enjoy the game are more likely to feel shit because of the game. I think a big difference between Call of Duty and FPL is that at least you have some control over computer games. Unless you're playing against bots. At least control over computer games, you can change the difficulty and give yourself a chance of winning. And not on Call of Duty Online, you can't, Gary. You can't do that with FPL though, which is very, very true. You can't. You have, as I said earlier, you can't actually control anything that the players are doing. It is just quite simply a case of watching and hoping. The game I would least recommend for someone who is struggling with life and needs to feel some control over their life is FPL. Play a computer game instead. Oh, shut this down. The end goal of our research is to make more. The end goal of our research is to make more people who play aware of the potential issues of playing, etc. I realise this doesn't affect everybody, but it is worth doing for those it does affect, so I really do appreciate you discussing it, letting me discuss it. Would love to come on again and talk more sometime. Doing my Game Week 10 wildcard, which you discussed, is a nightmare. I have no idea where I'm going to go, including Haaland or no Haaland. If I'm in... I sent it to someone on I don't know why that was highlighted as a held for review. Weird. Tick that. Yeah, someone made a point that they're doing a wild card, and they said that they've not gone with Haaland, and they are actually enjoying it a lot more. In fact, it's Lucas Dunn. I'm up to 176,000th after that Spurs game, and I'm on my wild card this week. I'm glad I saved it till now. And I can now choose if I want to sell Haaland. I do see the appeal though, and it's really down to Haaland versus Trippier and a midfielder like owning Diaby, Matoma or Martinelli. I will still have Watkins, Bowen, Son, Saka and Salah. And I just made a simple point that, look, if you've got Haaland in your team, but you can still have some of the big hitters like Watkins, Bowen, Son, Salah, I think the sacrifice of not having Trippier is fine. I think that, hey, if you can't have Trippier, just have another Newcastle defender. That's it. Trippier is very, very good, but if it means that you're still owning the likes of Bowen that can get double-digit hauls, Son especially, Saka especially, Salah especially, I think, especially with someone in your position, after 10 game weeks, or in 10 game weeks, or 176k, I would recommend to anybody to just stick with him if you can get those big hitters. But for someone like me who's got these players like Sterling and James Ward-Prowse, and it's nigh on impossible to bring in the particular Arsenal assets, I have to make that sacrifice. And knowing that I'm doing a 3-5-2, and I like the 3-5-2 formation, and knowing that I'm going to have Matoma in my team, and knowing that I'm going to have Saka in my team, it's a big plus side from my personal point of view. But I reiterate this point: yes, FOMO will be going through my mind continuously throughout any single match they play. But there was another individual here, Peppermint Freedom, saying I'm deciding on getting rid of Haaland as well. City are not blowing teams away this season, combined with tough fixtures and Alvarez becoming their clutch player. Going without Haaland just is becoming more logical play. Ironically, as high ownership is compounding the effectiveness of strategy, as the majority of FPL overall league cannot put Watkins, Saka, Son, Bowen, Salah, Trippier and all into their team week on week. Even in the event of a Haaland haul, he isn't outscoring the premium assets in a no Haaland team, providing the manager knows what they're doing. From a pure mathematics point of view, I'm convinced that going without Haaland will reap benefits over the next 10 games, and that's exactly the point where the likes of Blonde and Natasha, two women, are doing very, very well without Haaland in their team, and they've been able to bring in players which are either A, in his literal position, striker, keeping up with him, or B, they've been able to upgrade the shite in their midfield and are able to upgrade to a better quality of player, like the likes of Saka, Son, Salah, etc., etc. So I think that there's a lot of reasoning as to why getting rid of Haaland is good. And the fact that, like I say, yes, across the next 4 game weeks, do I expect Haaland to get maybe 2 double-digit hauls, and that Bournemouth game could be an absolute disaster? Yeah. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that's not the case. But when you look into other equations where, well, actually, hold on a minute here. Okay, I didn't captain Haaland when he got a hat-trick against Bournemouth, but that particular game week, if I look at it in front of me right now, as I pick my team here, when's he got Bournemouth? It's next week, isn't it? I had Ollie Watkins, who was away at Nottingham Forest. I had Saka away at Newcastle, but Matoma away at Everton, rather than, and this is when I'm going to be eating humble pie now, but Sterling away at Spurs, and then you've got Ward-Prowse, just for argument's sake, away at Brentford, or the players that I was going to be bringing in, Matoma away at Brighton, and Anthony Gordon at home to Arsenal. Like I say, all these combinations and thought processes are there, but then you look at it this week, where I could have, in theory, Saka against Sheffield United, Brighton Matoma against Fulham, and Watkins against Luton. Like I said, over the next 4 games, I think it's a lot more profitable. I really do think it's a lot more profitable. I mean, that game last night, I will say that Tottenham looked really, really good. A bit disappointing that, obviously, that Udogie came off on the 56th minute. I don't quite know why he was brought off. Was it due to tiredness? I haven't got a clue. But certainly, I think that once they took off Son and Maddison, I know they were 2-0 up, but God, they were making so many mistakes, Tottenham. And Fulham really grew into the game, but it was like the last 10 minutes. So there were a lot of opportunities for Fulham to maybe take advantage of some poor defensive mistakes, and they just didn't take advantage of those specific individual errors that were created. Nice to see Vicario doing very well. Apparently he's rubbish, according to a lot of you guys, and now, because when I had him in my team, what have you got him in for? He's rubbish, he's shit, the worst goalkeeper ever. Now he's apparently the greatest goalkeeper since Edwin van der Sar. Richarlison, don't ever step into a Tottenham shirt again. He is awful. As an impact sub player, I think he'd be quite good. As a starter, no. A bit like Antonio. Can't shoot, can't pass, can't head, can't tackle, continuously falls down as if he's being shot from a sniper. Not good enough. But the rest of the team, very, very, very... Their first team, excellent. The rest of their players... However, if they continue doing what they're doing, they will be right up there. Anyway, on that note, as ever, thanks for listening in. If you do enjoy this content, me and Jason do, by all means, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and if you want to support the channel financially, which we don't see a penny, why not become a member and get personalised videos dedicated to you? On that note, I'm getting out of here. See you later.